I received a call approximately 6:44 in the morning or so. Called Trooper Proctor and advised them to contact Canton Police.
Sergeant Mechanic called me at approximately 6:48.
I told Trooper Proctor that I would start shoveling out during the blizzard and then proceed to meet him in Canton to begin our investigation.
I contacted Detective Lank from Canton Police Department to see exactly what transpired in the morning.
And following that, you reached out to who? I'm sorry?
This firefighter Anthony Flamati. I contacted Sergeant Mechanic, advised him that this sounds like it's more than a medical situation.
Shortly after 7 a.m. that date, I received a call from Sergeant Yuri Mechanic informing me that Jon O'Keefe was found unresponsive in Canton. Sergeant Mechanic wanted to make me aware of it. Trooper Proctor and Sergeant Mechanic responded to Canton Police to begin the investigation. Their detective unit would be involved if they have one. They would stand by to wait for our arrival, wait for our guidance on what to do next.
About what time was that and who you called?
That was shortly after 6 a.m. I told them I would respond. I stopped at Canton Police Department prior to that. I was picking up some winter gear, and I advised Sergeant Good via the radio that all midnight personnel was to be held till further notice. I arrived shortly after 7 a.m. First encountered Sergeant Good. They updated me on the case. We decided that we had to process where Mr. O'Keefe was found. We decided we were going to process the scene with a leaf blower. At that time, Sergeant Good volunteered to go get a snow blower, and I knew we had 2 officers who could protect the scene while we processed it.
And about what time was it that you and Sergeant Mechanic arrived at the Canton Police Department?
It was approximately 10 a.m. that morning.
It was approximately 9:15.
We spoke with the Sergeant Sean Good. Sergeant Good informed us that while he was on scene, he identified Kerry Roberts, Jennifer McCabe, Karen Reed. He also informed us that Jennifer McCabe was out early in the night at a waterfall bar in Canton with some individuals, and that she was the one who called 911 when they found Mr. O'Keefe in the snow that morning.
Were you essentially with Sergeant Mechanic that entire day?
Yes, we used Sergeant Mechanic's pickup truck that entire day.
I made the decision to drive us, Proctor being able to make phone calls while I operated the vehicle in the dangerous snow conditions.
Traveled to the home of Matthew and Jennifer McCabe. We spoke with Matthew and Jennifer McCabe as well as Brian Albert. First, we interviewed Jennifer, brought in Matthew, and then the same thing with Brian.
Shortly after noontime, we had learned more information that necessitated a broader search. So I had reached out to Lieutenant Kevin O'Hara with the State Police Sert team to assist with processing of a scene. And so since we were going to be processing a scene, it was prudent for me to leave my house, dig out, and drive to Canton.
Time it was that you arrived, yourself and Sergeant Mechanic at the Good Samaritan?
Maybe approximately 1 o'clock.
As far as activating the Sert team, what did you think that was?
About 2 in the afternoon.
Sergeant Mechanic and I traveled to 345 Country Hill Drive in Dighton. So I texted my sister at work, "What's up?" She responds, "What? Why?" I respond, "Oh, just found it frozen to death on a front lawn in Canton this morning. Actually just interviewed Jen McCabe, said she knows you." Mr. starts off, "The Canton thing is a homicide." I respond, "This is at 3 in the afternoon on the 29th. Don't say a word to anyone." She said, "Of course not." I respond, "In the very least, it's suspicious." She responds, "This is your livelihood." And then I would never miss with that. At 3:07, I respond, Julie and Chris were at the bar with the victim and girlfriend. Got to interview them. We walked down the driveway, and then we observed Miss Reed's Lexus parked in the driveway. And that's when we observed the broken taillight on the right side of the vehicle. After confirming the phone Miss Reed was holding was, in fact, hers, we told her we were seizing the phone and would be writing a search warrant for that. We followed the tow truck from the address in Dighton to the Canton Police Department. So we left Dighton around 4:16 p.m. and arrived in Canton at the police department at approximately 5:31 p.m.
Was it Sergeant Buchanan who made that decision to transport it to Canton?
It's a supervisor's decision. I don't know who it came from.
Was it Lieutenant Tully?
Again, I don't know who it came from.
So you were just following orders?
Yes.
So Sergeant Buchanan and I had conversations. It was ultimately my decision of where the vehicle was going to go. I first went to the Canton Police Department to talk to Chief Berkowitz and wait for the arrival of the Sert team, and then to 34 Fairview.
Do you recall about what time it was that you arrived there?
About 5:30 p.m.
We had a debrief meeting, so there's other troopers. There's troopers at scene on 34 Fairview Road. There's other troopers conducting interviews. So at the end of the night, members of my office met in a conference room at the Canton Police Department to exchange information as far as what everyone had learned throughout the day. Sergeant Buchanan and I had secured some evidence, Mr. O'Keefe's cell phone and Miss Reed's cell phone, and him and I transported those to the office in Canton.
Later.
You're sent at 10:56 p.m., is that correct?
I'm sure the owner of the house will receive some shit.
And you respond at 10:56 as well as 10:57, is that correct?
Correct.
And what is it that you respond?
My first response was nope. Homeowner is a Boston cop too.
You see a response toward the bottom of the page from yourself, January 29, 2022 at 11:04 p.m.
Yeah, but there'll be some serious charges brought on the girl. I can only imagine what internal affairs of the BPD are trying to get out there.